All right, everyone, welcome. Good evening. Good evening and welcome to the newest edition of Ask the King. If you're watching this live, if not, it's not the newest edition anymore. You're late. It is April 30th, 2015. It is a lovely Thursday night here in Washington State. It's not the normal time of the day that I would do Ask the King, but because of some construction work that's been going on my home, was unable to stream during the day. So here we are, and welcome to episode 52. That's right, 52 consecutive episodes of Ask the King. Yeah, I've been at this for a while, and it's pretty crazy that I've gotten that far. Maybe we'll get to 100 someday. Who knows? I'm Darkside Phil. Thank you. Wait a minute. Something doesn't seem right about this. The hell is this? That's more like it. Ah, there we go. Okay, I knew something was out of sorts. So anyway, thanks everyone for being here for Ask the King. Thank you for submitting your questions. If you're a newcomer to the show, you missed 51 other episodes, go check those first. No, I'm kidding. If you're a newcomer to the show, welcome, first of all. This is the show where once a month, I take time out to answer the questions of my viewers and fans that they post up in multiple sources, either on thekingofhate.com, my website, or on Twitter, @TheyCallMeDSP, or on Facebook, which is also They Call Me DSP, or if you are a $20 or more pledge to my Patreon account, which is patreon.com/DarksidePhil, you're guaranteed to get your question answered, and 5 people actually took advantage of that this month, so I'll be answering 5 patron-specific questions here on tonight's episode of Ask the King. As you guys know, I usually do about half-hour parts, and I take a break to rest my voice a little bit. We've got a nice big mix of questions from the forums, from patrons, from Twitter, from Facebook. Really good stuff, as usual. So without further ado, without me dilly-dallying here, let's go ahead and get started with the April edition of 2015 of Ask the King. All right, everyone, here we go. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Let's start with a question from the Sultan of Swing, who has actually asked many good questions over the years. So let's answer his question this month. He says, hey Phil, I'd like you to clarify something. I'm a little puzzled when it comes to your stance on hipsters. Uh-oh. Alright, this could be a hotbed, so let's see what he has to say. You marked Sunset Overdrive slightly lower because of the overwhelming hipster vibe in the game. But you're playing Life is Strange, which is full of hipsters, hipster music, hipster haircuts, and hipster fashion, yet you seem to love the game. Can you please explain why your opinion is so different? Obviously, your opinion can change in this case in about 4 months, and is that the case? Please clarify. All right. So let's clear the air here. First of all, there's a lot of times when I'll joke about hipsters and stuff. Now, I'll be honest, it's not even that often. I think, how many times? Grand Theft Auto 5 playthrough, there was a segment when Trevor was killing hipsters in a rampage mission. Yes, let's face it. There is a lot of hipster vibe. A lot of the times when I mention someone like Troy Baker, because he is a West Coast hipster, he dresses in that kind of style, okay? When I was playing Sunset Overdrive, and the fact that they had that indie kind of ska rock type music, that's hipster music. Yes, the weird ass outfits the characters were able to wear in the game, the clothing available, everything kind of had that hipster vibe. And yes, let's face it, Life is Strange, an episodic game where you are a girl and she lives in this, again, Oregon, Washington, these states where hipsters are prevalent, and yeah, the young kids at her school and whatever are trying to be hipsters or are hipster style kind of culture, alright? So, okay, yes, it's true. I tend to call it out and I'll make fun of it when I think it's funny. I'll be honest with you guys, do I absolutely hate hipsters? No. I'm surrounded by them. I fucking live in Seattle, Washington, ladies and gentlemen. This is like hipster central, either here or like San Francisco are the 2 fucking places on planet Earth where I could go to be surrounded by hipsters, and I moved to one. So if I actually had a serious problem with hipsters, do you really think I would have moved here? No. However, here's the difference between, say, Sunset Overdrive and Life is Strange, and why when I played Sunset Overdrive, it pissed me off, and in Life is Strange, it's not, alright? Sunset Overdrive, it's almost as if the people who designed the game were hipsters, loved the hipster culture, and said, we're going to actually make this a part of the game. So if you like that music, if you like that clothing style, right? All the clothing in the game was customized kind of hipster clothing. There weren't even like other options for clothing. It was mostly like hipster outfits and stuff like that. You know what I mean? and it was just blaring annoying music at all times during the game, blah, 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 real loud at every aspect of the game. Even the dialogue was kind of like, oh, here's a pop culture reference because we're hip or hipsters. Instead of actually making a reference that was funny, it seemed forced, okay? Compare that with Life is Strange, where, yes, I'll be honest, there's some things that do seem forced with these teenagers, right? Maybe it seems like the writers of the game aren't teenagers anymore, and a lot of the things that they're making them say are kind of things they think that teenagers would say. But, are you constantly, nonstop fucking bombarded by it, right? Or is there a cool combination of gameplay, a mystery aspect of what's going on in the game? That's the difference. Sunset Overdrive was kind of a third-person action shooter that took pieces of other games, smashed them together, and almost no originality to the game, besides the fact that they just took things from other games and taped it together, and then just threw hipster culture at it. Hipster, hipster, hipster. If you don't like hipster stuff, you're probably not going to like Sunset Overdrive, as I said in my review. Versus Life is Strange, okay, if you don't like hipster music, and you don't like the culture, there will be parts of Life is Strange that may annoy you, but that's not the whole game, you know what I mean? You're not constantly hearing the music playing in the fucking background, and you're not, oh, it's about fashion, customize your character, oh, let's make terrible hipster jokes. No, it's different. It actually has characters with character development that actually matters. It's got this cool time manipulation game mechanic. It's got choices in the game that seem to be actually affecting the course of the game, unlike other episodic games where they claim your choices make sense and they don't really affect anything. It seems a lot different. Okay? Sunset Overdrive tried too fucking hard. Life is Strange realized we don't need to try that hard. We're just going to give you some cool game mechanics, a great story, and then you're going to like it, and then we'll have some hipster stuff in there if you like that. If not, it's okay. It's not what the whole game's about. That's the difference. Okay? It's knowing, with a creative hand, if you're the director of a game, to know how much is too much and how much is just enough. Sunset Overdrive, too fucking much. Life is Strange, at times maybe a little too much, but so far for me, just enough to keep me excited and to keep me going. I can't wait for the next episode. After the last episode, the way it ended, holy shit, I can't wait to see what happens in episode 3. That's the difference. Okay? Alright, the next question tonight is from James M2000, and he asks the following. He says, hey Phil, I'm just wondering, why do you hate John Cena so much? I know how he's fucking overhyped, and, you know, he shouldn't be the highest rated guy in WWE 2K15. And he isn't my favorite wrestler, but I do think that he should be respected. When he retires, he should be inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame. I actually like how the way he wrestles in the ring. It's kind of part of the hype of him, the fact that he's a face, yada yada yada. What the hell makes you hate him so much? Is it the shitty storylines that he's involved in, like John Cena versus Rusev? You know, it's such a stereotypical USA versus the foreigner who hates USA plotline. What is it that I don't like about John Cena? All right, everyone. This is an easy one for me because I've kind of explained it before. I don't think people get it though. It's this simple. I don't dislike John Cena the person. In fact, I almost think, with all the good stuff that John Cena does, there's one of two things. Either he's an incredibly great fucking person, down home, like he really wants to be like an awesome good person to the world to help little sick kids and do all the charity work and stuff that he does, or else he's done something so fucking horrible in his life that he's constantly making up for it and can never forgive himself. It's one or the other, alright? I would tend to think that he's probably just a genuinely good person. He thinks he's incredibly lucky that he made it big with the WWE, alright? I have no problems with John Cena, the person. I have major problems with John Cena, the wrestler. And allow me to explain why I have problems with John Cena, the wrestler. I would like anyone out there, okay, to name me one professional wrestler. And I could have missed one somewhere along the bunch, but I almost guarantee you I don't, because I'm a pretty big buff when it comes to pro wrestling. Name one professional wrestler that ever reached the profiler heights that John Cena has, alright, that never, ever, once they hit their stride as a face, meaning a good guy wrestler, never changed character, ever. Now, John Cena started out as kind of a generic guy, didn't really have a character to him, ruthless aggression, he challenged Kurt Angle, and then after that he actually was a heel for a while where he pretended to be Marky Mark. Like, that was actually his gimmick. One Halloween he dressed up as Marky Mark on the Halloween episode of SmackDown, and then they made that his gimmick. You guys might not realize that. It was supposed to be a joke, but then the gimmick went over, meaning people liked it, so he became a bad guy. He would beat down people, he would do bad rapping about how he hates other wrestlers. And then eventually he started winning titles and people started getting behind him. They said, oh, we should turn him good. And ever since that happened, he's never ever changed character ever. He's been the same fucking character from when he started his good guy run in the, early to mid 2000s to fucking now. 10 straight years where he never had to change his character. And for the intelligent wrestling fan, we're fucking tired of it. We want some variety. The problem is when you watch a John Cena match, you know exactly what to expect. He's going to overcome the odds. He's going to be the Superman or superhero-like character who can defeat 27 guys at once if he ever needs to. He'll pin again anyone. He'll never get tap out of any. He's never tapped out, or if he did, it was some ridiculous circumstance. He's unbeatable. Okay? So, for me, now I know the history of wrestling. You could even say, who's the most comparable person to John Cena? Hulk Hogan, right? Hulk Hogan, infamously, when he was in the WWE, and then when he went to WCW in the 90s, he was the guy, he needed to be in control of every match. He wanted the outcomes to be of his choosing. He would only lose to certain people who he handpicked to lose to. He was the big quintessential good guy. He went to WCW, was the good guy for a while, and what happened? They flipped it on its head. They made him the biggest villain in the company, and it was a cool thing. It spurned the creation of the NWO. It was the biggest thing no one ever saw coming. Hulk Hogan, the real American, the hero of small children who said to say your prayers and eat your vitamins for years, has become a bad guy, and he's completely taking over WCW. That was a good wrestling angle. Seeing John Cena come out every fucking week for 10 years and be the same character, the same angle, the same bullshit is boring, and ultimately that's why I don't like John Cena. It's not because of his wrestling abilities, it's not because of anything outside of the ring, it's because when he's in the fucking ring, he's fucking boring, and it puts me to sleep every time I see him. You know what? If he has a match with Randy Orton, I can call every fucking spot in the match. I know every move they're gonna do because they've wrestled a million times. Same thing with all these characters that don't change. It's the same shit. Alright? And so you say, do I think he deserves to be in the Hall of Fame? Of course. For 10 years, he was the face of WWE. He's probably sold more merch. I'd almost say, besides Hulk Hogan, he's probably number 2 of the guy who sold the most merch for any wrestling organization ever. Just based off of that, he's made the most money for WWE. Of course he's going to be in the Hall of Fame. You know what I mean? The thing that I personally dislike about Cena is that he will go over, meaning he will... Let's face it, we all know wrestling's fake. You know that, right? Oh my god, someone didn't know. Now I spoil. Wrestling is fake. Wrestling is scripted. And Cena doesn't need anything anymore. He's had every major title, right? He's like almost he's almost held the title longer or more times, than Ric Flair, who holds the title for holding it the most times. He's almost overcome Ric Flair, and the WWE has done everything they can to kind of hold it back. Like, he gets to that point, and then they hold him back a little bit so he doesn't overcome Ric Flair, because I think that they would be pretty pissed off, or the fans, hardcore wrestling fans, would be mad if Cena actually held the title more times than Ric Flair, who's like held as almost the best wrestler of all time by a lot of people. So the problem is that he will be okay with going over young talent. You'll have an up-and-coming guy who really needs to get a push, which means a boost of popularity or a boost of legitimacy by winning big-profile matches. And the guy will you'll beat everyone and get to John Cena, and John Cena, that's the brick wall. John Cena does not lose. So he will not lose to anyone legitimate. Bray Wyatt was one of them. He was white hot. People absolutely fucking loved Bray Wyatt. They said, Bray Wyatt, Bray Wyatt, Bray Wyatt. John Cena beats Bray Wyatt last year, and where's Bray Wyatt gone? He comes back every once in a while, wrestles a meaningless program. He wrestled The Undertaker. Who cares? Now no one cares about... No, that's it. Bray Wyatt's done. No one really talks about Bray Wyatt anymore. Because John Cena squashed him. Basically ended the momentum that he had. How many people... Daniel Bryan. He beats John Cena, right? And then all of a sudden, Bryan gets taken out of the plot line, where maybe there would have been matches where there's rematches with Cena, because Cena actually was injured at the time. They never went back to it. Cena never had a series of matches with Daniel Bryan where they could have went back and forth. They could have given Bryan the rub. Never happened. He wins once, that's it. And then the program ends, and Cena comes back, and he's superhuman again. He's unbeatable. So it makes no sense. John Cena doesn't even need to be in the company anymore. Quite honestly, he could just do Make-A-Wish and never wrestle again. Because he's done everything that needs to be done in pro wrestling. He's done it in 10 years. The WWE never stopped him, allowed him to win every major title, do everything possible. John Cena doesn't need to be in the WWE anymore. But they'll keep him there because they know the longer he's there, hustle, loyalty, respect. He runs out in 5-year-old clothes. And that's what it is. Clothes that 5-year-olds would wear, bright neon colors that no normal human would wear. And the kids buy with this little doily that fucking says never give up, or whatever the fuck. He pulls out his do-rag out of his pants or something, his ball warmer, never give up. And he runs down to the ring, and people buy the shit because their kids like it. That's the only reason he's there. That's why I don't like John Cena, because he doesn't need to be on the program. He adds nothing. He takes up time. He's fucking boring, and we're tired of him. Flip him heel, maybe I'll change my mind. But every day he's out as a face, fuck John Cena. There you go. Okay, next question. This one is from Atomic Buster. And he says, "Hey Phil, I saw your opinion on the Nintendo NX or whatever it's called on the last episode of Ask the King, and you also talked about Amiibos, and I felt a bit offended by that, and I want to address it. I'm an avid Amiibo collector, and it's fun, despite some figures being really hard to find, that you can get your hands on certain characters that have never been produced in a figure or a statue of any kind before. Sure, there are more useful areas to invest your money in, but at the end of the day, collectors will collect as long as they enjoy it, and they also get little bonuses in the games. Also, what does it matter if Nintendo stole the idea from somewhere else like Skylanders, as long as people are actually liking it? I don't think it is okay to call people stupid like you've done here, just because they like collecting Amiibos. So my question is, why are you so down on the Amiibo, knowing that you used to collect statues and certain other things as well? Thanks." Perfect question, because I love when people ask me to follow up and elaborate on something, because chances are when the initial question is asked, I don't get a chance to ever elaborate again, and then people don't get that additional explanation, and because of that, that's it. Phil's a dick. He hates all collectors, but he's a hypocrite because he's collected in the past, so fuck Phil. Well, that's not really what I said. And if you actually listen to the whole argument that I made last time, you'd understand why I disagree with this strategy of Nintendo working. Nintendo, and we're not talking Nintendo of America, we're talking Nintendo of Japan, the core company, the game developer that makes all of the first-party Nintendo games, is an incredibly xenophobic, egocentrical, culture-centric, to-Japan company that thinks that they know better than everyone else worldwide when it comes to video games. They're number one, their shit doesn't stink, and if you don't like what they produce, you're fucking wrong, and shame on you for not liking their games, basically, or their consoles. That's actually the mindset of Nintendo management. They have proven it time and time again in the past decade when they shoved gimmick after gimmick after gimmick down the hardcore gamers' throat, and the hardcore gamers screamed back and said, "We don't want motion controls. We don't want a giant fucking touchscreen, stupid controller for the Wii U. We don't want a console that doesn't have good graphics because you decided not to make a console as good as everyone else's. We want to play Nintendo games on a console that rivals your competition. We want to play third-party games on your consoles. We want to do all these things. We want online play that's worth a shit, unlike the horrendous online capabilities of the Wii U." And Nintendo constantly says, "Fuck you. We don't care. We don't listen to customer feedback." And if you actually listen to the words of the heads of Nintendo for the past several years, well, the reason that our financials are down, it's not because the Wii U sucks or because we didn't listen to market feedback or anything like that. It's because we really missed out on that mobile market that everyone's going in. So now we're going to make Nintendo games that are going to work on mobile devices. That's what the market we missed out on. And it's like, what? You sold a console, the Wii U, that had almost no games and no incentive to buy the console for 2 years, but you're going to blame it the fact that your company is losing money because you didn't make mobile games for the smartphones. No. What that is a failure to admit fault. A failure to open your fucking eyes and say, we don't know everything and we should listen to the market. Nintendo does not listen to their market, alright? So, why am I angry about the Amiibos? I'm not so much angry about the Amiibos. Nintendo can do whatever they want. I can't control them, right? I can't control Nintendo and say do this or do that. What I'm angry about the Amiibos is that Nintendo consistently has had anti-gamer practices. They've consistently shown they don't care about you or your feedback, and they're going to do whatever they want, whether it sinks their company or not, and they're not going to listen to you, the common gamer, right? I mean, let's face it, they are preventing YouTubers from making gameplay videos of their games unless they hide behind the guise of a managed partnership on YouTube. They're stealing ad revenue from YouTube content creators who already paid to use a Nintendo game's license, right? You already paid your $50 to play that game, and they're stealing ad revenue from people because they want your money because they know better than you, right? So I did completely disagree with Nintendo's philosophy. So now all of a sudden we're going to forgive them. After years people complaining the Wii U sucks, the Wii was a cash-in for non-hardcore gamers and Nintendo lost touch with the common gamer, and, you know, oh, Nintendo is stealing everyone's ad revenue on YouTube, that's an anti-gamer practice, but now because they're making Amiibos, forgive it all, right? They're great. Wow, a little fucking figurine of Bowser, or this little one of Sonic, it's so popular, so cool to have a little figurine, and I'm sorry, the cop-out of it adds something to the gameplay experience on the Wii U is bullshit. It doesn't. It's an added feature. If it was such a critical thing that you needed an Amiibo to add something to your Wii U game experience, wouldn't everyone complain that they should come with the game? Because they don't. It's a little added tweak here or there or something to a game. There's no significant addition to anything on the Wii U because you bought the Amiibo. It's a fad. They got you. If you're into the Amiibo craze right now, you're, oh my god, I gotta get every one, and I'm lining up at fucking Walmart and Target to get the exclusive ones only sold at those stores, and I'm pissed because they sold out, and there's a golden Mario, and it's behind a locked case, and I'm gonna cuss out the fucking floor manager of Walmart because they don't have anyone with the keys nearby to sell me that fucking golden Mario right now. You got duped by Nintendo. You are their core audience. They said, we're not doing anything significant in the gaming market. We're not listening to customer feedback. Oh, we're just going to jump on someone else's fucking fad idea to get all those dumbasses who buy collectibles. That's what the Nintendo management is saying behind doors right now. Oh, yes. This other Skylanders, and then Disney Infinity made tons of money selling these. Well, we might as well just fucking do it too, because we've got our own first party characters, and those morons will buy them and make us rich again. Even though we've done nothing to listen to their fucking feedback in gaming, we're gonna sell little figures and take your money, and that's exactly what's fucking happened. People, again, they're not in the mainstream audience of the Wii U, right? People who don't even own the Wii U are running, I gotta buy fucking Amiibos, man. I gotta get I love it. I got this one and that one. And it's a fad and it's a craze. Now, I'm not here to say that I'm above being a collector. I've been a collector multiple times in my life. I collected baseball cards. I collected comic book cards. I collected comic books themselves. I've collected statues and other collectibles. The times in my life that I did that, I did it because I liked it, and there was never any kind of underlying reason. When I bought a statue from Sideshow Collectibles, okay, of some awesome character from Marvel Comics that I like, was that several $100s wasted? Of course it was. That was several $100s that I could have put towards something more useful. And I will openly admit, as I have the past several months when I've been trying to sell those statues, that was money that I could have easily put towards things more useful. At the time, I was a new bachelor. I was making money for the first time in my life. I didn't know what to do with it. I was living in a small condo. I didn't have a lot of bills in Connecticut, so I blew some money on these stupid statues. The difference here is Sideshow Collectibles wasn't a game-making company who for 4 or 5 years completely ignored the market feedback and failed as a game maker, losing millions of dollars year after year, and then said, oh, we're going to start selling collectibles now, and then everyone ran and bought their collectibles. It's a completely different situation. You know what I mean? Nintendo does not sell collectibles. That's like at 1% of their market. Now it's going to become like 40% of their market because no one's fucking buying their games. So it's absolutely out of ridiculous. Seriously. This is a market completely subsisting on a collectible fad of little figurines. Skylanders, then Disney Infinity, then these Amiibos. this will not support itself. The Amiibo fad will die out after a couple years, just like all these fads do. And then Nintendo, it's not going to fix anything. It's going to give them a short-term revenue stream, and then they're going to have to figure out, oh shit, oh yeah, we make games, that's right. Now we got to realize how to make new games, how to sell another console. And, Nintendo's NX, right? Well, we don't have to cater to what all the other game makers do. We don't have to make a console with better graphics. We're going to have a new revolutionary gimmick that'll catch. This is what the management of Nintendo said. This is what I answered in the last time I did Ask the King. The management of Nintendo publicly said, we're doing the same thing fucking again. We're ignoring the market and doing whatever the fuck we want because we know better than you, the gamer. Buy our fucking figures, dumbass, to finance the next project. That's exactly what's going on. And the fact that people can't see this, you know what I mean? The fact that you can't see through it is ridiculous. And I'm sorry, I'm not going to go buy a fucking Amiibo. I'm 33 years old. I'd much rather get rid of all the collectibles in my house and pay my bills and maybe have a chance to actually go on a fucking vacation in the next 2 years and actually do worthwhile things with my life. Now, if you have disposable income, you like collectibles, fine. But understand, you're paying for Nintendo's mistakes when you buy that Amiibo. Your hype into the fad is paying for their horrendous management decisions, the fact they ignored your feedback for years. You're financing that and you're supporting that when you buy a fucking Amiibo. Just understand that. Every time that Nintendo claims a Content ID match video on YouTube, you're supporting that when you line up to buy the new Amiibo at the store. So that's what I disagree with Amiibos. It's not the fact that people like collectibles, it's that people are just so blinded by fads. Oh, it's a fad. Amiibos are cool now. Yeah, but what the fuck is behind the fad? Think about it. Why do they even exist? Because Nintendo desperately needs your money to make up for their bullshit management decisions and not listening to feedback. That's why they need them. And that's what pisses me off. Okay. So, I see a few trolls in chat. Take care of them quickly. And then we'll continue on with the next question. Got rid of one anyway. Alright, next question. This one is from I am Curla249, and actually this is a pertinent question because multiple people asked me variations of this question, so I will address it and then actually give some elaboration. So, the question is, hey Phil, since the announcements of both Rock Band 4 and Guitar Hero, what are your thoughts on these franchises coming back and also the possible future of these games? Now, older people said basically, what do you think is going to happen with these games? Will they be popular? Will you be playing them? That was the questions that other people had asked me about these games. So yeah, if you haven't heard, yeah, they're coming back. Rock Band is returning, as well as Guitar Hero. These were the two biggest music-based games from the early to mid-2000s. These were huge fucking franchises. Everyone had the Guitar Hero guitar or the drums from Rock Band, this microphone. It was, again, it was a fad. It was a fad where people who weren't necessarily mainstream gamers said, oh, I can do cool karaoke at home with all these popular songs on my gaming console, and I don't have to buy a stupid cheesy karaoke machine to do it. Well, then I'll do it. And that's what happened is people who already had, say, an Xbox or a PlayStation in their home went and bought the home versions of these games, bought the 100 peripherals and had parties and stuff doing it. I was one of them. I'll be honest with you guys. I liked it. I actually thought that it was fun to be able to play classic rock and all these cool songs, either more modern songs, with the guitar. The drums I didn't like. The drums I had never worked properly. Out of the box, I would hit the drum, at half the time it wouldn't register. And after that, I got so turned off by the drums, I never did them again. But I did like doing the guitar, and I like doing the microphone. And actually, a lot of people won't know this, I actually would have the microphone set up in front of me on a microphone stand, and I would play the guitar, and I would do both at once, playing like Guitar Hero and Rock Band. So I would be two parts of the game at once. I would be scoring for both. I would get all the achievements like for singing and for the guitar at the same time, and it was awesome. It was an awesome experience. And I loved those games. I played every one of them. I really did. I played Rock Band 1, 2, what was it, 3? I played all 3 of those, and I played a whole bunch of the Guitar Heroes. I didn't play every one, because then they started getting ridiculous. Guitar Hero, cover band for Green Day, or some stupid shit, you know? But I would play, for the most part, most of the major titles, okay? And then what happened? I'll tell you exactly what happened. The market became incredibly oversaturated, just like the Wii. Okay, the Wii was incredibly popular, but then once everyone has one, everyone's done it, the gimmick's done. And Guitar Hero and Rock Band, oh, we're going to release a new DLC pack for $10 that has 5 songs. We're going to release, you know, Guitar Hero Kiss and fucking Rock Band this band. and it just got so oversaturated. There was too much of it. There was too much content, not enough demand, and people just got bored of it, and it completely flopped and died out. And then all of a sudden, every store, super discount, clearance, liquidation, buy the whole fucking Rock Band set for $20 that used to be $150. It was ridiculous what happened with that, okay? So, you know, it really was kind of a fad that overflooded the market, and then it fell on its face. I liked it. I actually was a fan of a lot of the music that was in that. Was a big fan. It fell out of popularity. And then I was kind of disappointed. The last one I played was Rock Band. Was it Rock Band or Guitar Hero Beatles? Whichever one was the Beatles was the last one I played. I actually played it in my condo in Connecticut. My parents came over and I played a couple songs for them because they're huge fans of the Beatles. And they were like, wow, this is cool. And then the whole thing failed, which sucked. So now, fast forward to 2015, okay? Very different situation. You know what I mean? I'm not living in Connecticut anymore. I'm doing this for a living. Would I like to grab Rock Band and Guitar Hero and play those songs for you guys, see how well I can do? And by the way, I'm no fucking pro. Trust me. I never was like that. I could do like maybe the medium difficulty. If I really focused, I could do some of the higher difficulties. But no, I wasn't mastering these songs on the highest levels. No. I like to have fun. Every once in a while, have a drink, have fun, playing fun music and singing and having fun with it. It was more of a relaxation thing than anything else. Would I love to do those as playthroughs? Yes. Will I be doing those as playthroughs? Probably not. And I'm going to be honest with you guys. You might say, oh, what? Why? Why wouldn't Phil do that? It sounds fun. If Phil play music that he likes, you know, and in the new releases. It's very simple. Copyright. All of the music in Guitar Hero and Rock Band, it's all copyrighted. And this was before the era of YouTube when those games were popular. People weren't recording them as video footage and putting them up on YouTube fully or anything like that. It was few and far between when people would do it. Now, all of that music is copyrighted. How am I going to play a Led Zeppelin song in Guitar Hero and put it up and not get copyright flagged? And that's the problem. Probably all of it would. And the thing is, it would be one thing if it would be like, well, we're going to flag it and take away your advertisement rights. But that's not how YouTube works. If you actually match a song, it mutes your fucking video. So imagine if I did a playthrough of Rock Band 4 and the entire playthrough is muted. What's the point? You know what I mean? So, unfortunately, I don't think that it would be even possible to do a playthrough of those games. Now, maybe there's some people who, you know, I have a super duper ultra partnership with fucking Maker Studios, and they have contracts with all the bands, and they say I can use whatever music I want. Okay, I'm not one of those. I have a managed partnership with Machinima. I'm almost positive they're going to say I should not do playthroughs. I will, when those games are coming out, because it is going to be coming out in a few months. I think it's like the fall, right? I'll check with Machinima, and I'll say, I would love to do it, but am I allowed to? Because this is copyrighted music, and I'll see what their take is on it. And maybe if they say go for it, I'll give it a go, but I am not going to promise anyone something that I cannot control. In fact, the only problems that I've actually had since I became a managed partner with Machinima way back in late 2013, the one problem that I had with copyright was when I played NBA 2K, it matched a fucking song in the soundtrack. And that video got muted, and I contacted Machinima and said, what gives? And they're like, when a song gets flagged, there's like nothing we could do, man. It sucks, but a lot of these games now, we're having that music and it gets flagged and we can't control it. So there you go. I don't know what else to say. I would love to play the games, but I can't promise you that I'm going to play the games because I don't know what's going to happen when it comes to copyright issues and stuff like that. Okay. Next question. This one is from Blegs. Okay. Now this is going to be a touchy one. I'm going to try to answer it as level-headed and honestly as I can and not try to be angry and not try to be a dick to anyone. All right. So let's tackle this one head on. From Blegs, he says, "Hey Phil, you know, I could really understand why some people might dislike you. You know what? I personally can understand why some people might dislike me too, with all the stuff that I said over the years, with all the things that have been either misconstrued or at one point I didn't understand it, and now I've kind of grown, things about Minecraft and all kinds of stuff, people that I insulted. I can understand why people might dislike me too. Fair enough point, okay? But let's continue with the question. Can you explain the people who actually seem bent on insulting and discrediting you? There are several channels on YouTube that seem wholly dedicated just to making fun of you and or spreading lies. You've acknowledged that they exist many times, but can you think of any actual reasons, legitimate or imagined?" All right. I personally look inside myself and I say, is there any, for the amount of stuff that's been done to me, and just to give you guys some idea of the things that have happened, I've been doxxed, okay? I've been doxxed both in Connecticut and in Washington. I've been DDoS attacked. I've had feces mailed to me. I'm not lying. I've had feces actually mailed to me. I've had multiple, times when tons of food just shows up delivered, and I'm like, I'm sorry, I didn't order it. Someone's pranking you, and they think that it hurts me, and it doesn't. It actually hurts the company or the business or the restaurant because they're the ones that now have food that doesn't go. I'm not obligated to buy it, right? So they're the ones that get hurt, not me. And that's fucked up because you're hurting someone. Even if they're trying to hurt me, they're hurting someone else. I've had that happen. I've had people show up and out of nowhere, out of the blue, and either prank me or do stuff. And I'll be honest, there's nowhere probably on planet Earth where I could live because I am a public personality where I'm going to 100% feel safe unless I live up in the fucking mountains and I disconnect from YouTube permanently and I never tell anyone where I moved. Then maybe I'll be safe from these kind of elements, all right? But the bottom line is when you have a public persona, you're going to have people who just lose it, all right? And the best equation that I can give to this, and by no means don't take this that I'm saying that I'm a movie star. Think of some of the things that have happened to movie stars, You hear about the story, oh my God, what was her name? Julia Roberts, right? Might have aside said something to someone at one point on the red carpet or tweeted someone, and somehow that person took it upon themselves that this is a personal relationship they have with Julia Roberts and they have to try to talk to her all the time and they're going to follow her every move. They're going to criticize everything she does. They're going to show up at her fucking house. And this stuff actually happens to me. Okay? Not too often, I'll be honest, thank God, but it does happen to me. All right? That's the kind of person that you would have to be to do the ridiculous stuff that some of these people do on YouTube in regards to me. Because the bottom line is, the only person that I would ever think of maybe doing something malicious to like that is someone who directly hurt me in my life. If you beat the shit out of my little brother, then maybe I'd have an inkling to try to get back at you. You know what I mean? But what have I done in my career on YouTube? Sure, I've made public statements that were ridiculous. Maybe the Amiibos. People got pissed about the Amiibos. Does that mean, because Phil says that people who buy Amiibos are silly or stupid, that you should make an entire YouTube channel dedicated to discrediting him, to literally slandering him? You know what I mean? What kind of a person in their right mind would do that? And there lies your answer. No one in their right mind would do that. They would realize this is your life. Wasting your time hyper-focused on one fucking person is insane. You have your own life to worry about. You have your own things, your own family, your own jobs, your own relationships going on. Those should be your focus. Not what Miley Cyrus did at the club last night. Not what, whoever, fucking Kim Kardashian said on Twitter, not what fucking this YouTuber did in this video, not a snippet about me talking about Minecraft or Amiibos. Those should be like so insignificant to anyone, but these become like hyper focuses of people's lives, and that's it. Now we gotta fucking, we've absolutely just gotta go nuts, okay? We've gotta just lose our minds, down with Phil, and it just is unfortunate because of two things. All right, two things. Number one, I'm not famous, but I'm just famous enough. You know what I mean? I'm not famous. When you walk down the street, no one knows who the fuck I am, and I like that. I would hate my life if everywhere I went, people knew who I was and recognized me. But I'm just famous enough to have that element, to have that kind of, whoa, crazy-ass fucking mindset element of people who are just obsessed with me and have to have that kind of crazy shit going on in their heads, all right? And number two, unfortunately, I'm just famous enough in the realm of the internet. If any of this stuff happened and it wasn't directly internet-related, if there wasn't anonymity behind it, okay, no one would get away with it. Julia Roberts filed a restraining order against that crazy-ass fan who was stalking her, and they have a restraining order, and they're ordered to stay away from her. They've been arrested multiple times. I'm on the internet. There's no internet restraining order. It doesn't exist. There's no internet cops who can track down some dumb kid who fucking steals my videos and goes and tries to dox me and show my address on his YouTube channel and just says insulting things about my girlfriend. What recourse do I have besides maybe trying to report the channel to YouTube and YouTube's stupid policy? Oh, is that bullying? I don't know. Show me certain criteria. Well, the whole channel's about me and says negative shit. Do you think it's fucking bullying and it could hurt me, asshole? But YouTube doesn't care. They just, clean their hands of it, right? They don't give a shit, because no harm, no foul. Unless someone sues them, they're not liable for anything, right? So the bottom line is, the only kind of people that I could think of that would do that is people who think somehow in their heads that I've directly hurt them or insulted them some point. The bottom line is, if anyone, and I mean this, unless I've specifically addressed you by name in a video, if I have ever said something that you feel personally insulted to the point where you have to go crazy, like driving your time to hate on me, you need help. Because I'm not specifically addressing anyone. I've never tried to specifically hurt anyone. I have not, directly stolen from anyone. I've never went out and beat up your little brother. I never slapped your mom around. None of this stuff happened. It's a delusion in the head, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what I say. It doesn't matter what I do. It doesn't matter that I called the local police department and told them when I moved here that I may be swatted. It doesn't matter. Because these people are so sick that for them, that's it. That's their meaning of their existence. So yeah, you're going to see shit like that. And I'll be honest with you guys. 2 days ago, actually it might have been 1 day ago, I actually got contacted by someone from a gaming website who's writing an article about the history of Let's Plays. And they said, Phil, your name came up when it came to the history of Let's Plays. I'd like to talk to you a little bit about it. And I responded on Twitter. I said, I got your email. Sure. When I talked to him on the phone, he said, Phil, when I tweeted you, 15 kids, and I could tell they're kids because I checked their Twitter accounts, and it's like the most insane thought strings I've ever seen in my life, tweeted me about nasty shit about you. He goes, what the fuck is that about? He said, I've never in my life tweeted someone and had people jump on me because I tweeted you about being in a news article. He's like, are these kids mentally ill? And I'm like, dude, I can't answer your question. I don't know what the problem is. Like, I don't know. I never went and I kicked your dog's teeth in or nothing. You know what I mean? I'm just here making gameplay videos, and every once in a while I'll answer something on Ask the King that maybe pisses someone off, and that's like warrants someone to lose their fucking mind and dedicate themselves to like insult me and hurt me and slay. It just makes no fucking sense. Logical humans look at that and say, what the fuck? The problem is, unfortunately, the common YouTube viewer doesn't discern between it. They see, if there's that much negativity, there's people who dedicate their lives to hating Phil, something must be wrong here, and I'm just going to stay away because it's a negative kind of a thing. And that's unfortunately what happens. Luckily, this guy, when he saw, he was intrigued. He was like, holy fuck, this is like ridiculous. Can you tell me anything? And I did. I explained a little bit about my background and over the years what's happened and blah, blah, blah. To make a long story short, I don't know. I can't explain it. I'm not the kind of person who would ever waste his time on someone like a celebrity or anyone who has a public persona. I would never. Unless they specifically, if right now, Tom Cruise tweeted me on Twitter and said, I think that Phil Burnell is a stinky piece of fucking dog shit, and I want to fucking piss on his grave when he dies. Okay, maybe I would be a little angry, but I probably wouldn't spend my whole time hating on Tom Cruise, because I just don't give a shit. And the bottom line is, I don't do that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't call people out publicly in videos, and the 1 to 2 times I've ever mentioned people publicly in videos is because they attacked me first. And people were asking me for what was my take on it, what was my side of the story, because they were insulting me first. So I don't get it. It's pretty crazy. I really don't get it. But that's the reality of life, I guess. Is that when you have a public persona, you're going to have those elements, right? You're just going to you have to deal with them, and I deal with them on a daily basis. But I'm still here, you know? I'm still here, I'm still going, and I'm going to keep going. So, all right. So that is it for part 1 of Ask the King for April 30th. I hope that you guys are enjoying the show so far. If you're watching this on YouTube, we're going to take a break and end it, so check out part 2, which will be a separate video. If you're watching this on the stream, I'm going to take a short break to relax my voice. We're going to come back, and we're going to answer questions. All right, we're going to keep going here. So thanks, everyone. I'll be back shortly with more Ask the King. Thanks for tuning in.